Yeah, that sounds great. We are now actually officially live on YouTube as well. That was trying to be in the works for weeks, and as Owen was giving his take on day one, we finally got it, guys. We are live on YouTube. So moving forward, expect that from us as we go throughout here. So we were just kind of giving our day one takeaways as you guys just joining in on YouTube. But we will be live on YouTube twice a week, Wednesdays and Saturdays, and we'll post that to X and everything. But yeah, so tonight we are giving our offensive preview. Owen, let me just say it's football season. I am very thankful to as fun as it was. I'm very thankful to be done with the all-time top five lists and the where's Neal Momchilovich going and the Braden Sorsby. Like it was a nutty off season.
Yeah.
I'm ready to get back to some football.
The
I'm
off
ready to
season
get
is
back to some
officially
football.
past us.
Yes.
I've said this in previous episodes. This off season's definitely been wild. They're only going to get wilder. Not just
Yeah.
because Iowa State lost their entire roster coming into this year, but it's the landscape of college athletics, the transfer portal, the Save College Sports bill. Like it's just all going to get crazier and crazier. And so,
Yeah.
if you can expect that as a fan, if you can just think and predict that it's going to come, you won't be surprised. You won't be. You'll have a lot easier time kind of moving through that kind of stuff. So.
Yep. Absolutely. So we want to finish with quarterback tonight because I think that's the main position that everyone's curious about with the departure of he who shall not be named. And so we want to get into the 2026 roster and what is to come for this side of the ball. So we've had Tyler Roll on the podcast. We're very excited to have him as a part of Cyclone Nation. I think he's going to provide a great kind of gritty toughness that Iowa State football needs in this new era. But what is it going to look like? What is it going to look like from each position group? What is it going to look like across the board when you play big boy talent? I mean, I've seen the tweets already. Oh, and three of Iowa State's first six games officially are now against ranked opponents. You're going to find out very quick what Iowa State football is made of from the offensive side. I don't think, and we're going to talk about it on Saturday, I don't think we're too worried about the defense. I think they're going to be in a really good spot.
Yeah.
The offense is where I get really kind of, I'm not sure. And that's
Yeah.
because of the first position group that we're going to talk about, which is the offensive line. So we'll go again, position by position, finishing with quarterback. The offensive line. I want to ask you first, Owen, because this is what's interesting to me. You think about Iowa State. Prior to Matt Campbell, they weren't really known for a great, pass blocking game, run blocking scheme, all this different stuff. By the time 2024 came around, Iowa State was turning into running back U. The Brees Halls, the Gyro Brocks, the Kanena Wangus, the Abu Samas, right? You can go back to 2014 in the Paul Rhodes era with Mike Warren. This was becoming a normal thing. Carson Hansen was going to be the next guy, and then obviously we know what happened this offseason. So it's very interesting to me, and this is where I'm curious to hear your take. Do you think this returns to the Rhodes era, so pre Campbell, or do you see this as they're getting some power four talent? There's some ability there where you're now able to get guys in the building that can block, that understand schemes, that understand toughness, how to go to the whistle, and to not let your guy through to the backfield. Where do you kind of fall as we look at the offensive line for 2026?
Yeah, I think the main message during the offseason and in the portal as well, and Jamie Rogers, he's even said this himself. He even said in an interview, I forget who it was with, but he said he was surprised about all the offensive linemen that they landed. Like they reached out to these
Yep.
guys, are like, well, hopefully we get them, hopefully if we don't, whatever. But the offensive line is by far the most abundant position group in college football. And what I mean by that is, and you'll see it, like, I don't expect the same five guys to play the entire year. Like, there's going to be a starting five for
Right.
the first game, but I,
Right.
I fully expect to see, guys like DeAndre Carter from Auburn, Gavin Brokius from Michigan State. Like, Masai King from Akron. I mean, these are all guys who saw the field, who played, and I should say, for those of you who say, "Oh, well, they didn't start or anything," or "Oh, they're second stringers." Well, they were injured. A lot of these guys were hurt, and which is why they entered the transfer portal and came to Iowa State, because they weren't. And this is just being brutally honest. They weren't getting offers from the Alabamas, the Ohio States, the Oregons. So they have to almost transfer down a level to Iowa State in the Big 12 to build their name there and potentially have a career in the NFL. So I definitely think, like I said, there's just so much depth here. My projected offensive line is going to be Jake Taylor from Oklahoma, Caden Mass or Maz, I'm not really sure.
Yep.
These are all
Maximum.
transfers. Those two are seniors. This Braden Smith, kind of a smaller guy for center, but a really sought after guy. He's a dog. I've heard lots of good things about him. Colin Amick, he's another sophomore, and then Garrett Rutledge, a familiar name, was on the roster with Matt Campbell, and so it'll definitely be interesting to see how he does. He's not one of the players that Campbell wanted to take with him. He didn't want to look elsewhere, so like I said, it'll be really interesting to see how he plays. But other than that, I think, and this is my last take on the offensive line. Coach Roll told us they want to play with a certain physicality. They want to play with a certain will to win tough, to win physical, to grit through tough situations. You know, whether they're down 2 or 3 scores, they want to have a never give up mentality and kind of attitude. And obviously Tyler Roll II, he got the job. We knew that Iowa State is. I mean, I don't want to speak for him here, but it's going to primarily be a run heavy offense. I think the running backs they got in the offseason, there wasn't any like eye-catching names. I know they were after a running back from Michigan, but then again, the talent, the projected ability that I think River Peppers, Cam Flora, Cam Petaway, Aiden Flora, all those guys have. I think it's there. I think this offseason and I haven't checked up on the weights or anything or the heights, but I do think they put on some more weight, which was one thing that I think people kind of looked at like, okay, this Cam Petaway from Bowling Green is like 185, 190 pounds, and he's coming up to play in the Big 12, and we got to bulk him up a little bit. Same thing for Aiden Flora. Aiden Flora was another holdover from last year's staff, and we'll get into the running backs more, but I think they have a lot of different options. They want to run a gadget back type offense, and it starts with the offensive line. It starts with the trenches, and like I said, Jimmy Rogers made it clear, Tyler Roll made it clear, that's the kind of football they want to play and establish in Ames.
Yeah, no, I think you're spot on with the O line. It is all about how tough are you, and that sounds cheeky, that sounds cliche, but we got to go back to middle school football at this point. Like, how tough are you? You're going to be going up against talent that you've never seen before. I know some of these guys have played at the Power 4 level, but you haven't played a full season. I mean, a lot of these guys have either been injured or they were part of a team that, frankly, let's be honest, like, just weren't very good. Like, you think about the Michigan States, you think about the Akrons. Like, Jake Taylor at Oklahoma was in and out of injury all year last year.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious to see, more than anything, how do they mesh together? Because as even a Chiefs fan who knows what it's like when you're down to your 4th left tackle by the end of the season, it's going to be very interesting to see how Iowa State meshes together as an offensive line.
As a Saints fan, I know a thing or two about left tackles, especially drafting one every year in the first round instead of skill players. So,
yes. I'm very pessimistic, I think, about the offensive line. Out of any position group we're going to talk about, I think the only other one that I'd be pessimistic about is tight end. I don't love the fact that it's a brand new line. Now, I know that happens when you basically nuke the whole roster, but at the same time, you have to understand where you're at. And where you're at right now is with a lot of brand new guys. And shout out Garrett Rutledge, man. Like, that guy's going to hold it down as best as he can, but he's going to be around a bunch of dudes that he's just met months before. So shout out to the O-line. Prove us wrong about that. But as we talk about the other positions, a lot of it is, I think, going to be a little bit more difficult because of how many growing pains there are, shall we say, with the offensive line
Yeah,
in
that's
year one.
fair.
In
That's
coming years,
completely honest. Yeah.
yeah, in coming years, I think Will Slagle comes in. Now we got people in the building that are
Yeah.
like seasoned. We got Cyclones that are committed, and you got a bunch of transfers. Like, and maybe it goes well. Like maybe it goes well, Owen. But I'm just saying, I'm not here to say like, man, like yeah, we got all these dudes and they're just gonna play together perfectly, and they're gonna. I think it's gonna be a lot of growing pains, unfortunately,
Yeah.
with the offensive line. So let's transition to let's do tight ends because
Okay.
I think quarterback, wide receiver, running back is the cream of the crop with this offense thus far at least. Tight ends is interesting for this one reason, Owen. Jimmy Rogers opening press conference today, and they ask him, and this is always tough when you ask a coach about guys in the building because you know he's going to leave somebody out. But it's also like if you leave somebody out, is there a reason you're leaving them out? And I found it very interesting, Owen. Look at the depth chart here that there was no mention of Tyler Fortenberry when Jimmy Rogers was asked about the tight ends today. I don't know if you caught that. But
I
when
did
they were
not know.
asking him about the tight ends, when Jalen Rayner and Keith Heckendorf and Tyler Fortenberry came over from Arkansas State, Tyler and Jalen were going to be the connection. They were going to be the guys that kind of led this charge into the season of we have familiarity here. Our offensive coordinator, our head coach, or whoever he was, is now our quarterback's coach. And there's no mention of Tyler on August 5th. Is that something or nothing? I'm very
I
curious
don't know.
what develops of him because, I mean, again, you're going to forget guys, but if you're forgetting a guy that is maybe one of Jalen Rayner's favorite guys from Arkansas State that you brought over, and
Yeah.
there's a reason you're not bringing him up, my questions are: is he injured? Is he not developing like they want him to? And where is he on the
I
actual
he
depth chart?
was seen. I did see him in a practice clip. He was jumping up and giving someone his shoulder. So I don't think he's injured. But I think
Okay,
you're on.
so
I do think you're onto something. I mean, look,
that's what I'm
I'll let you
saying. Like,
finish.
I don't know. So what are your takes on the tight end room as a whole, where it sits? Because it's brand new. It's
Yeah.
brand new.
No. Um, I think I've said this before. I worry about the tight ends. That is probably if I had to pick a position group
Yep.
that I mean I look at and I say, okay, these are dudes who have to prove themselves, and it starts with a guy named Keaton Roskop. Keaton Roskop
Yep.
was on staff last year. He was in the tight end room. I mean, with Ben
The
Bramer,
first
Gabe
Cyclone
Burkle.
commit of the Jimmy
So
Rogers era.
and I first want to say he's a loyal son forever true, right?
Yep.
I have a full respect for him, whether he catches 10 touchdowns and 1,000 yards or catches 7 passes for 81 on the season. I have a lot of respect for him because he's loyal to the colors and he's ready to work. And I think this is going back to coach role and why I think that when he was hired, I was just like, this is huge. I mean, he was a tight end. He was a tight ends coach for the Detroit Lions. He coached
Yep.
tight ends in the pros. So I think it's reasonable to have worry, to have doubts about the tight ends, especially like they didn't come from the big schools, the Big Ten or the SEC or anything like that. But and this is just going back to Matt Campbell and the outstanding job that he did with taking mid 3-star guys, taking transfers from the FCS like Jaden Higgins, and turning them into NFL superstars. So people said for a long time, especially before Matt Campbell got to Ames, it's you can't win in Ames. You just can't, and they're wrong about that because he did. And I think Coach Rogers could have a very similar first couple years that Matt Campbell did. Matt Campbell finished 3-9 in his first year. I think Jimmy Rogers will finish with a better record, and that's not a knock to
Oh yeah.
Matt Campbell or anything. But
Oh yeah.
and we'll get into the records and the schedule predictions and stuff soon. But Iowa State, if Matt Campbell didn't take the Penn State job, and Ben Bramer and Gabe Burkle and all those guys were still here. Guys, in a year, Iowa State is the best tight end position group in
Oh
the
my
state of Iowa.
goodness, dude. You did not
Because
have
you
to
would have
go
Gabe
there.
Burkle in the NFL, Charlie Kohler in the NFL, Ben Bramer in the NFL, Chase Allen has spent time in the NFL, Steve O'Klotz, I think he's still at the Chargers. So there was really something special building there. And I think that can happen. And it happened a lot quicker than it did with Matt Campbell because of that NFL experience that Tyler Rolls had with the Detroit Lions. So, like I said, Keaton Roskop, I think him and Tyler Fortenberry are going to be, they're going to be guys, they're going to be the tight ends who you'll see do the most pass catching. Christian Greenlaw,
Yep, I was about to say.
I mean, he's a monster, by the way. I got the numbers pulled up here. He's 6'5",
While
two
you,
245 pounds. Like, he is massive. So you're probably going to see him in the run blocking game a little bit more. But look, I still believe Iowa State, like I said, can be tight end you. I think we can utilize the tight ends not just in the run blocking game, but teams with defenses will come out and say Iowa State's going to run the ball a lot, but they're also going to pass. And when they pass, they're going to those big tight ends, and we don't know. So that's one definitely something to keep noted, to keep in mind about this position group. So I honestly, like I said, I can't say I'm excited or hyped or saying Iowa State's going to have the best tight ends in the Big 12,
yeah,
but there's still a lot to prove. There really is. So AJ,
yeah.
what are your thoughts?
For our audio audience, I'm kind of grinning and chuckling over here because I did our a tight end preview over on Cyclone Kingdom if you guys want to check it out, and I
I
was
might have
going
seen
through the
that.
roster, and dude, I looked at the depth chart, and I looked at it probably once or twice before, and I saw Christian Greenlaw, and I said, "Who?" So
I think he was
Christian,
JUCO. I think he came from
yeah,
JUCO. I can't remember which school, but I think he was
Christian,
a JUCO guy.
Christian, I love you. I'm excited you're in the Cardinal and Gold, that you are a part of this football program. But outside of that, bro, I got no clue who you are.
We don't know.
Please show me something this year.
Mm-hmm.
And he's clearly, I mean, he's the first name out of the mouth of Jimmy Rogers. He's tied in one on multiple depth charts. He's clearly going to be the guy that is the tight end for this offense. And all I gotta say is, cool. That sounds great. Like, go show me something, young man. Uh, in all seriousness, I'm so excited for him. I think he's got great opportunities in front of him. But outside of that, I got no scouting report or
Here's a
anything
quick
for you.
comparison. Here's like the only scouting report I can make on him.
Hit me
EJ
with it.
Bibbs. EJ Bibbs.
What? He's
EJ
EJ
Bibbs. The
Bibbs?
build. He has the build of EJ Bibbs. He
Really?
does. So yeah, I mean, the numbers are pretty much right there with it. I
That
mean, EJ Bibbs might be a little bit smaller, but
that's a lot to live
I
up
think
to.
this dude has speed. I think this dude is going to be just a freight train when he catches the ball, and people are not going to want to get in the way of that. 6'5", 250.
Well,
This is not going to happen.
that's,
So
that's a lot to
definitely
live up to.
definitely could catch some eyes. Yeah.
That's a lot to live up to for him. But no, so again, my biggest question about tight end is what is going on with Tyler Fortenberry? Because clearly enough is going on where your head coach does not even bring you to mind when he's asked about the tight end room. And I think that's not nothing. That doesn't mean that you're not going to play. That's not nothing. When your coach can list off 5, 6 dudes and not mention you. So I'm hopeful for Tyler to get some run.
Yeah.
All right. We kind of went through the two most inexperienced.
And before the people say,
No.
"Oh, he just compared Christian Greenlaw to EJ Bibbs," I compared his build,
His
his
build. His
stature.
build.
Now I'm not saying he's the same talent as EJ Bibbs, so chill out. I know there's going to be someone that sees that and makes a repost. Oh, he said he's AJ. No, it's not. That's not what I'm saying.
He makes a one-hand catch for a touchdown. We can start having the conversation.
Oh
Until
yeah,
that point,
oh yeah.
we're
Against Iowa too. It's got to come against Iowa.
man, that'd be sick. Uh, I would argue that those are the two most inexperienced position groups on the offense. I don't know if you fall in the same vein, but I think quarterback, wide receiver, running back, at least if we're comparing, are more talented and more experienced and have more to bring to this offense. And let's talk about the running backs. You mentioned them a little bit. There is, man, there's a lot to like. And there's a lot to like with a guy already going down to season-ending injury. That tells you how deep this room is.
Yeah.
Now, everyone's biggest question is going to be, well, they don't have a true running back. And you're probably right. A lot of their running backs are gadget guys. They're returner guys. They're get on the outside type of guys instead of run down your throat. I'm just going to say one name for you guys. And you'll be like, I have no clue who that is. Well, you will. Arnold Barnes. Arnold Barnes comes in after the Salad Daheen a la torn Achilles, I think it was. And he comes in from Tulane, which is a program, by the way, that is on the come up. Like, holy cow. The fact that
They're in the playoffs
President Cook,
last year.
the fact that President Cook already worked that to get Iowa State and Tulane in a home and home over the next couple of years.
It's great.
Quality.
I'm gonna have to go down for that game because that's in New Orleans.
In New Orleans,
That's Saints territory, so I might honestly be going down to New Orleans.
Come on, man.
I'm looking forward to that.
Well, Arnold Barnes is interesting for this reason. Again, I don't know. We're brand new to this, just like a lot of you guys are. But here's all I will say. They asked Jimmy Rogers. They were still on the tailgating tour, I think, at this point, because the Owl injury happened right around the time of the tailgate tour, and they were asking, "Oh, who are you bringing in?" And there was a rumor that Arnold Barnes was going to come to visit Iowa State. Well, he comes to campus, and they asked Jimmy Rogers, I think a couple days later at a different tailgate tour, "Hey, you brought Arnold Barnes in. What's his potential?" And the beginning of Jimmy Rogers' answer was just kind of like, "Oh yeah, he's just going to be another one of the guys." But then he said something interesting, Owen, because when you think about it, let's just look at the running back room as a whole first, and then I want to give it to you. Aiden Flora, Cam Petaway, you can throw in River Peppers maybe, all boundary guys. They're not going to run down anybody's throat. Jimmy Rogers then says Arnold Barnes is a guy that runs downhill, and I went, "Oh, excuse me, a downhill runner." I don't really care if Arnold Barnes is talented or not. We need a downhill runner in this running attack because I promise you, Tyler Roll. There's been multiple other Cyclone fans that have made a good point of this. Tyler Roll's going to drive us nuts this year, guys. Like, he's not going to have this Taylor Mauser, Alex Golish type of spread offense where it's just
it's single backs. I mean, there's a lot that can happen out of the single backs. So,
there's a lot that can happen, but it is going to be,
it's
going to be very much ground and pound.
Yeah.
And because of that, you get into 3rd and 2, you get into 3rd and 3 against Iowa in Iowa City, or when you're playing BYU or Texas Tech or whatever, or
Arizona,
not Texas Tech,
Utah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Those plays can change the game. And if you're telling me we're going to put Aiden Flora in the backfield on 3rd and 3, I'm sorry. I love you, Aiden. I don't want that for you, dude. You're going to get broken half. You put Arnold Barnes in the backfield, and you put Jalen Rayner, or you put Connor Moberly in a running situation.
Oh, yeah.
Now you have something very interesting. So I just wanted to leave with that, Owen. I'm very much more optimistic probably than anybody else in Cyclone Nation about Arnold Barnes because of the change of pace he brings to that. What are your thoughts on the running back room?
Yeah, and I just want to start off by saying or shouting out River Peppers. This is a kid who just cannot catch a break from the injury bug. From what I could remember, he played 1 snap last year against Colorado.
His first snap.
And he tears his Achilles, something in his leg. I'm like, oh my gosh, this poor kid. Yep. But he's a name that we've, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Coach Roll brought him up in our interview with him. So he's someone, I mean, obviously I've never seen him play. I've never seen him in practice or much, but Matt Campbell talked about him. He talked about his speed. He talked about, his agility. He's got a bigger build, so definitely someone to keep your eye on. But yeah, I think Barnes was a perfect replacement for Saladin, and like you said, he's just your downhill running back. He's your 4th and 2, your 3rd and 3. Just put him in, and he's going to be a wrecking ball in there, and he's just going to run right through everyone. And we saw that at Tulane. I mean, he was only in at Tulane when they needed him, and he did a really good job. He had lots of touchdowns in his time at Tulane, and so definitely someone who I think we can see throughout the field on any yard line. Even if it's 1st and 10, like who knows? Yep. Because, and I hit on this earlier, your Aiden Floras, your Cam Petaways, they're just like, and we're just being completely honest here. Like, they're not the biggest dudes. Like, and you're gonna play defensive lines, and this is a Big 12 defense, and like it's gonna be tough. You're gonna get banged up. You're gonna get bounced around, and so credit to them for not just putting on 10, 15 extra pounds in this offseason, but for the coaching staff saying we had a guy go down. We had our third and fourth down back go down. We need to get someone. We need to get him now. And they did a great job of that. Cam Petaway's a guy from Bowling Green who played a huge part in special teams in the return game.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't do much. I think he had 700, 800 all-purpose yards last year as a freshman. So he's definitely someone who get a lot of reps and take a huge step. It'll be interesting to see who plays kick returner and punt returner.
Very interesting.
Flora. I mean,
obviously, we're going to talk about it on Saturday from the special teams preview standpoint.
He was an injury away. He got injured in the South Dakota game. Almost took 2 punts back to the house. Flew down, I think, in the Kansas State game and forced that fumble. Dylan Edwards or picked it up. Like this is a guy, and he wasn't on scholarship until January, February. Like he's like I always knew who he was. I mean, obviously you had Abu Sama and Carson Hansen, but in my honest opinion, by the end of the year, he was running back too. He was running back too. When he was in, his ability to hit the hole, like Hansen, his ability to get upfield, his speed, like Abu Sama. So I think when you mesh those two together, you get Aiden Flora. I'm not saying he's better than those two, but just to see his ability in the Kansas game and like he just saw that hole and hit it. So he's not gonna dance around in the pocket and pitter patter his feet and do 50 spin moves and run to the sideline like Abu Sama. He's gonna get straight downhill. He's gonna get up the sideline. He's gonna get up the field. And when he turns on those jets, he's gone. We saw that last year in South Dakota game, TCU game when he returned a punt for a touchdown. So yeah, I out of all the players from last year's roster, he definitely would have been my top guys to say we need him back. We need you back. We need you on the staff because we're gonna run the ball a lot, and from what I've been able to see from him, he can do that. And so yeah, I think the running back room is just like the tight ends. There's a lot of unknowns. You know, obviously Flora is trending towards RB1, but I don't anticipate him to be playing, like 80%, 90% of the snaps each game. I think we're going to see, especially early, we're going to see a lot of guys rotate. We're going to see a lot of guys get subbed. And so it's definitely a position group to keep an eye on, like we hit on, especially because there wasn't like any big names in the offseason who could clearly definitively be running back one. So that's something to keep an eye on, definitely. So
yeah. First of all, Abu Sama hate will not be tolerated.
I don't hate. I'm just saying he had some stuff. He had some stuff.
I understand he was difficult.
It was so frustrating. It was so frustrating
yes.
when he bounced to the outside. But when he broke free, which he did a lot,
correct.
It was awesome.
Correct. No, I
always remember the snow game. He's at Wisconsin now, so it's their run team. So I think he'll do really well there.
Which honestly causes me to love Abu Sama even more now that he's at Wisconsin and didn't just follow everybody else. I hate that he's not here, but he's one of my favorite players in the last 2 or 3 years, just because of his ability and everything. But yeah, he was mind numbing sometimes. Easton Miller's another one that I think is really interesting. Yeah. He is kind of in the mix here, I think, for a running back room that, as you mentioned, is going to be rotational. We're going to see a lot of rotation with Iowa State's offense this year, and we just need to buckle up. I mean, we're about to talk about the wide receivers. There could be 8 different wide receivers catching passes during a game, just because there's so much talent, but there's also so much fluidity into a brand new era where you don't have any seasoned guys yet, and you don't have any, they've been with Jimmy Rogers for multiple years. Or that's the Washington State guys, and most of them are on defense. We'll talk about them on Saturday. But the running back room, it creates a lot of opportunities for guys. And so I'm excited for basically anybody that is a running back for Iowa State, because they're going to get their opportunity. But yeah, as you mentioned, on Saturday when we do our defensive and special teams preview, special teams for Iowa State, where in past years it might have been like, now it's like, oh. Is special teams the strength of Iowa State? Is it now something?
Phil Steele doesn't think so. Phil Steele thinks we have the 64th best special teams in the country.
You will never guess what I'm using for my depth chart.
Get that out of my face, AJ. Take that out of the camera right now. I burned mine. I threw it away.
I'm using it I'm using it for the depth chart. I'm using it for nothing else. It's purely depth chart related.
Straight disrespect there from Phil Steele. I'll still buy his magazine, but I'm disappointed. Or whoever did that, whoever does the unit rankings, I don't know. I'm gonna find you, and tell you and give it to you. Like, man, we'll get into that on Saturday. But man, it's frustrating to see that.
No, go ahead. I mean, if you want to.
I mean, like okay. We were gonna do it on Saturday. I'm just gonna throw a little bit here. I'm just gonna throw
it for Saturday.
You have Kyle Conradi, Iowa's daddy, hit a 63-yard field goal.
63. No, pause.
Probably a 77, like 80% make percentage. He was injured for like half the season last year, and when he came back, he was making them left and right.
I have to stop you. Like, think about what he just said, guys.
It's unreal.
A 63. The NFL record is 69 yards from Justin Tucker. Kyle Conradi hit a 63-yarder with room. With room to spare.
That was good from at least 65.
Good grief.
Okay, and then you have an Aussie punter. You can't go wrong with an Aussie punter. Everyone's got an Aussie punter. But I guess Iowa State's punter is the tuba for the band, according to Phil Steele. Aiden Flora, which if anyone watched Aiden Flora when he wasn't injured, he's the best punt returner for Iowa State, maybe ever. I mean, if he didn't get injured, how many punt returns would he have taken back to the house?
Jarvis West.
He is. But if Aiden Flora wasn't injured last year, this year, he's definitely coming for that title. He's coming for that.
He got
to week 2. He had 1 touchdown erased, punt return touchdown erased. He stepped out of bounds. He had 1 where he got caught, but he got injured, so that probably slowed him down. And then what happens in the TCU game? When he comes back, he takes one to the house to win the game. This guy's electric, and you might not see it, but he's electric. He's gonna be really good, and not just him. Like, because Phil Steele's not really about hypotheticals. So let's throw Aiden Flora out of the conversation. Cam Headaway. The kid took.
You got to save some ammo for Saturday.
I know. I'm still raving on about Phil Steele though. Like, I just don't unless you blatantly just don't do your research and you have no idea. But come on, you got to at least know Kyle Conradi. I mean, come on.
I have a confession to make.
I can't hear you. I can't hear what you're saying.
I have a confession to make.
I still can't hear what you're saying.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have a confession to make, guys.
Oh, he's got a confession. Okay.
I'm trying not to let it out, but I feel like I have to because we're about to talk about special teams on Saturday. So last season Iowa State kind of, falls off a cliff and loses 4 straight, and they go to TCU, and I didn't watch the game, guys. I was so mad at how everything transpired that I didn't watch the game, and I watched the highlight of Aiden Flora's punt return later on. That does not make me a fair weather fan. That makes me an honest fan because I was so mad.
I had to force myself to watch it. I didn't have anything to do. There wasn't like anything else on. I had to force myself to watch it.
It was so bad. Anyways, we got a lot to talk about on Saturday, apparently.
Iowa State would have been in the 2014 playoff because they won that. Like, look at that. Look how important that game is. And AJ doesn't watch it. He's just sitting on his couch watching Seinfeld or something. I mean, come on.
I love Seinfeld.
Seinfeld's great. Oh yeah. I'm sure there were plenty of fans that would have watched that over Iowa State coming off a 4-game losing streak. But
I kept tabs on it. But that's one of the games where I was like, I don't know if I can force myself to watch this because
you just look at his phone. He just checks it. He just checking. Oh, okay. They're down 10. Oh wait, they just took the lead. Who took it back to the house? Aiden Flora. Learn the name. Know the name. He's gonna be good.
Know the name.
We'll save the rest for Saturday. We'll save the special teams for Saturday.
Wide receiver. How about we talk about the Iowa State wide receiver? Let's get into him a little bit. That was fun. That Saturday's show is going to be fun. I'm already looking forward to it. The wide receiver position for Iowa State is the deepest position maybe on this roster. I'm going to say it again.
Oh, yeah.
I think the wide receiver position for Iowa State might be the deepest position on this roster. I'm going to reference Jimmy Rogers' press conference again this morning. Because what he said about the wide receiver room had nothing to do with the upperclassmen, which I found very interesting. Because when you talk about the wide receivers for Iowa State, you're going to talk about Dominic Overby, who we're going to reference in just a second. You're going to talk about Evan Boyd. You're going to talk about Cody Jackson, right? You're going to talk about Jordan Bailey from TCU. Jimmy Rogers didn't talk about any of those guys. In fact, when he did talk about those guys, he was referencing the freshman wide receivers for Iowa State, of which one was the guy that you showed a clip of, Ty Claiborne. Guys, the wide receivers, the freshman wide receivers, I should say, for Iowa State have been described by their head coach on August 5th as a talented and deep room. The freshmen. That is putting aside every other wide receiver at Iowa State. What does that tell you? That tells you that with Jalen Rayner at quarterback, or Connor Moberly, or Zane Flores, take your pick, you now have potentially, if the offensive line can just block for 2 seconds, potentially an offense that is not only a threat, but actually is powerful, electric, making splash plays. So I am like the most curious position for me is not running back. It's not safety, who's going to replace Braden Knowles, even though that's important. What I am most curious about with fall camp leading up to in this last month to SEMO in week 1 is what does this wide receiver room look like, and how many guys do we have in this room that can actually play, Owen? Because there are guys that can make plays for Iowa State already as a freshman. And with Jimmy Rogers at the helm, you have an opportunity to make plays right away. So we're going to talk about the upperclassmen guys in just a second, but I had to get that off my chest because I found that so interesting as he was talking about his first press conference of fall camp, and that's what he talks about when asked about the wide receivers. Amazing.
Yep.
Absolutely amazing. So I'll let you talk about the upperclassmen a little bit, but who do you see? Because at the end here, I want to kind of give a depth chart as well, outside of the O-line, of who we think will be, running back 1, wide receiver 1, all different stuff. Who do you see separating themselves?
Yeah.
Here at fall camp leading up into week 1.
I've got to start with an upperclassman, Evan Boyd. Evan Boyd. I went to the spring game and he stood out immediately. He's a big target. He's kind of got that Hakeem Butler, Sean Shaw kind of build where he's not going to be the fastest. He's not going to like outrun people with 3 yards of separation, but he's going to go up and catch the ball. He's going to go make plays. He's a big target to throw it to from Michigan State. I think Purdue is after him as well, so definitely had interest from other schools. But like I said, in the spring game, he stood out to me. And another guy who stood out to me, and I have a video of this. I'll have to find the video. Trevor Fortenberry, Tyler Fortenberry's brother. He had like, I don't even know, it was like 60, 65.
No, it was an 85-yard touchdown in the spring showcase.
Oh, it was 85. Okay, I guess they blew the whistle dead, but he did have a touchdown. I mean, I was like, who is that? Looks like Tyler Fortenberry, but he's like 19. So 82. I had to look at my little laminated roster for this year. Get one of those guys while you still can. You're gonna need them. But yeah, he's definitely a guy to keep an eye on. Malcolm Watkins was one of the freshmen that Jimmy Rogers mentioned in his press conference. Oh, can you hear me?
Yep.
I don't know where I went. We're having some technical difficulties.
We've lost Owen.
Can you hear me at least?
I can still see you and hear you, so I don't know what happened.
Am I glitched or anything?
No.
Okay. Well, I don't know where I went.
Because you started talking about Trevor Fortenberry, and I was gonna make a point or a comment that I tweeted that out at the spring showcase, and someone reminded me because I thought it was Tyler, because it was Tyler and Jalen.
Yeah.
And I said Tyler Fortenberry caught the touchdown, and someone said no, that's Trevor, and I was like, my bad, I'm still gonna know the roster. And yes. Trevor Fortenberry himself, on his Twitter account, liked the reply. So if that tells you anything about the Cyclone football, like resurgence or turnover, we've lost Owen. The show is out of control. I don't even know if my mic's working anymore. We're gonna get Owen back in here, but if you think about the turnover of Cyclone football and all the new guys you have to learn, that's a prime example of mistaking one guy for his brother. So we're going to get Owen back in here in just a second. But the Iowa State wide receivers, you think about Evan Boyd, you think about Omari Hayes. There's been a lot of talk about Omari Hayes. I'm very curious to see how he progresses in fall camp. He's listed as a backup on the depth chart. Could he separate himself into one of the main guys? Because you look at Cody Jackson from Tarleton State. Guys, Cody Jackson in the spring showcase showed out. And I'm very excited, if Cyclone football is willing to do it, to put out more tweets or videos of fall camp, because I want to see Cody Jackson in action, man. I want to see him with the pads on to see if he can be wide receiver 1, because I think he can be. I think he has that talent and ability and the opportunities of a lifetime to be able to go through that. If it's not him, who is it? Because there is another guy in this room that is a Cyclone that decided to come back, that didn't go with Brett Eskelson and Chase Sowell and all those guys to Penn State. It's Dominic Overby. He stayed put at Iowa State and became one of the main guys on this team. He is one of the go-to guys for Jalen Rayner. He's one of the go-to guys. And so I think as we try to figure out where Owen is, I think that those three guys, the Evan Boyd, the Cody Jackson, the Dominic Overbys, are the main guys that can become viable targets for Jalen Rayner. We good? You back?
I'm back. What happened?
Wow. Wait, dude, you started talking about Trevor Fortenberry, and he must have like got you into the ether, dude. Like he must have remembered that I mistook him for his brother.
We're still live.
Like, none of this.
No, we're still live, right?
We're still live, dude. I was talking about the whole.
Like, where's AJ? Could you hear me?
I was talking about the whole wide receiver room. I was going through each guy. So I stole a little bit of your thunder, but I talked about.
You can hit on him real quick.
Well, I was just talking about Cody Jackson, Evan Boyd, Dominic Overby, those three guys kind of leading this room. And then one of the guys I'm very curious about that's been getting a lot of run is Omari Hayes. So I don't know if you want to touch on him or if you want to go in a different direction, but those guys are the main ones I see separating themselves. And then who knows what happens with these freshman wide receivers as they progress. So did you have any other thoughts on those guys from the wide receiver standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying before, something happened with the technical stuff. Malcolm Watkins was a guy. His name is familiar. I remember when Jimmy Rogers, when he flipped him from, I think, Washington State.
Your audio's still
from last year's class.
Hold on, your audio's still messed up.
Can you hear me?
We are going through the mud a little bit here. Keep going.
What about now? Am I clear now?
Dude, they're out to get you, dude. I don't. You know what it was? I know what it was. It was when you talked about special teams, dude. I'm holding the magazine. They're trying to shut us down, bro. Phil Steele.
Some bad juju or something, you know.
They're trying to shut us down.
It's like some curse.
So they've turned you into a robot, bro. For our audio audience, I apologize. They've turned Owen into
They probably heard something.
Into a doggone robot.
Like, Tyler Partenberry.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we can. I was just gonna hit on a couple more things.
You're still
Malcolm Watkins, freshman.
You're still kind of in and out, so we'll figure this out together. Let's see here. Keep going.
Okay. Malcolm Watkins, for like the fourth time, is one of the freshmen who Jimmy Rogers talked about in his press conference. Carter Pabst, from Washington State, was a freshman last year. Had a couple of really nice catches. Didn't see the field a lot. You know, he's young.
It sounds like you have like a robotic like a cord attached to your microphone. I don't know what's going on with it.
I can hear you just fine.
Yeah.
All right. What about now?
Dude, they're out to get you, bro. I apologize to our YouTube watching fam as well. Let's see. We're gonna get through this, guys. We're gonna get through this.
We've got to.
Oh, keep going. Right. I think we're there.
What about now? Can you hear me now? Is it clear? Kind of. All right. What about now? Test.
Screw you, Phil Steele. This is outrageous.
Jalen Trainer, 45-yard touchdown pass to win the game in County Stadium to Tyler Fortenberry. Phil Steele, he's after us. He's got to be doing this right now.
Dude,
AJ just, you can't believe it.
He's out to get us. I don't know. Do you want to try?
What about
Do you
now?
want to try to leave and come back in because we're?
I can, yeah. I'll hit the studio home here real quick.
We will overcome this together. We Owens left the chat again. This man right here, he does great work from a depth chart standpoint, but he's got no love for Iowa State special teams. He's got no love whatsoever. Hope you guys can hear me okay still as well as we try to get Owen back in here.
Do I sound better?
Hey! Yeah, we got there!
I knew it.
Take that, Phil!
Take that, Phil.
Take that. This man, he does great depth charts. He does great schedule breakdowns. Everything else, I'm going to show you. Because we haven't had a chance to show this yet. Because on Saturday, everyone's like, oh, what do you mean he doesn't have Iowa State? What do you mean he doesn't have this? I'm going to show you. Go talk about Watkins or whoever you're talking about. Because I'm
okay, Malcolm Watkins, freshman receiver. Notable guy. Jimmy Rogers talked about him when you mentioned the freshman. Carter Pabs from Washington State. Amari Hayes from Tulane. He has a height, I believe, the second highest rated player in EA Sports college football for Iowa State. The first is Isaac Bobby Terrell. But Amari Hayes made a great impact at Tulane. Was a, I believe, a rotational guy. Maybe he started, but he's got experience. He knows the game. He's played a lot of snaps. So definitely.
Do you see this?
Definitely a guy I would expect.
Do you see this? I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, that looks familiar.
There are 65 teams. 65. And not a one has Iowa State.
And I was
not
what?
a one.
I was what?
Iowa is 6th.
After losing their entire, I'm not just saying like they lost their kicker and their punter. They lost their entire special teams unit. How do you? I know they're always good at special teams. And they're special teams but when you lose your kicker, your long snapper, your punt returner, your kick returner, your punter, and your special teams coach, how do you have them in the top 10?
Keep going, bro. They're trying to get out. They're out to get you again.
It doesn't make any sense. But little bro, they'll figure out who the superior special team in the state of Iowa is soon. But yeah,
dude,
I don't know. Maybe it's something with the receivers. I don't know. Maybe we're missing. Are we missing someone? Jordan Bailey from TCU.
Dude, they
Dom Overby. I gotta talk about Dom Overby, another loyal son, forever true. Stayed over from last year's staff. Shined. He caught the first touchdown of the year for Iowa State. First touchdown of the year. He's a guy who I think could make a huge step from last year to this year. Under Tyler Roll and Coach Sherman with the receivers. So that's all I got for receivers, and I think that completes the circle here. I think we are good to wrap up today's episode about off.
We forgot quarterbacks. That's how crappy this.
Oh, we got to do the quarterbacks. Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's cooked, bro. It's cooked. Everyone live on YouTube, we appreciate you guys. We are trudging through it right now. They've
because of this. It's because of this darn Microsoft computer. If you get a computer, do not get a Microsoft. Get an Apple. Get a MacBook. Get a Temu. Get something from Temu. I don't care, but do not get a Microsoft. This thing is horrible.
We're gonna make the most of this because this segment is gonna go viral on X later. Yeah. But someone get Owen an Apple computer. Like GoFundMe him or something. Yeah. Like the man needs help.
Me so I can get an Apple computer.
The man needs help. Let's figure this out and get through quarterbacks before I turn into a robot.
Good. Am I still clear on audio?
You're not, but you know what? We're just gonna roll with it, and we're just gonna hope the audio people don't crash their vehicle.
Turn out fine on the stream. Maybe it'll turn out fine, but who knows?
It's not on the YouTube live, but you know what?
It's this darn mic right here. I bet it's this mic. It's got to be.
It is what it is. Oh, and we got
Okay,
a
so
question about Rocco Beck saying Iowa's his favorite place to play, but we're not going to talk about
where
that.
someone shot that.
So someone asked that. I feel like we should just go off right now and just leave no stone unturned, take no prisoners, but we're not going to do that. We're better than that.
What was the question again?
Jalen Rayner.
What was the
Jalen
question?
Rayner. The the question. Do you want to know what the question was? Because the question is going to get us going again. Can we get your opinions on Rocco Beck saying Iowa is his favorite place to play?
No, I can't. I don't care about Rocco. I don't care about him. I don't want to talk about him. I don't want to. Who said that? What was her name?
The user and a bunch of numbers.
Okay, so listen, we don't want, respectfully, we don't want to talk about that. We don't care about Rocco Beck. We don't care about any of them over at Penn State or what they say. We're locked in for this football season, baby. All eyes ahead, all eyes on 2026. AJ, let's finish this off with the quarterbacks.
I'm sorry, you sound so crazy right now with what they're doing to your voice, bro. I'm so sorry. I don't know who's out to get you, but we're gonna find them and we're gonna make sure they're blocked from entering our podcast network. Yeah, Jalen Rayner, a leader of men, a great dude, an awesome competitor. The guy that's gonna lead the Cyclones into I can't even sentence right now. That's how off the rails we are. The guy who's going to lead the Cyclones onto the field in week 1 and beyond. I personally am so excited because of how great Rayner is at commanding a huddle, getting to know his teammates by name, but then also because right behind him is Connor Mobley, who's been patiently waiting his turn. And when you patiently wait your turn, good things happen to you. That's just the sports karma of it all. I'm incredibly excited for Mobley. I think that he's going to get opportunities this year, not because I think Rayner's going to play bad, but because Mobley provides a run package that not many people can defend, and Mobley can sling it as well. So we need to finish up because, for all intents and purposes, our computers might explode before we finish.
My computer's about 10,000 degrees, by the way. Am I still? Do I still sound like a robot?
But yeah, you do. But Jalen Rayner, audio audience, Owen has put his head into his hands, but we're trudging through it. But Jalen Rayner is a great dude, and I'm excited to have him be a part of Cyclone football and to lead the charge, man. I think Iowa State will win a couple of games because of Jalen Rayner, and so I'm excited for that reason. Are you back?
All right, am I back? Can you hear me?
I'm gonna start throwing things, man. I'm gonna start throwing things. This is outrageous. This is outlandish. Audio audience, your podcast isn't stopped. It's just we have no other word. What? What?
Casey, can you read what it says?
Moberly is a dog.
He's a dog. Yes.
Oh, for the audio audience.
If I can't get the audio through, we got shout out Connor Moberly, Zane Flores. If Rayner goes down, if he's not doing well, I have complete faith and confidence that those guys will toss the rock well. So.
Do you want to do the honors of smashing your computer after this podcast is over? Owen improvised and wrote down Mobley as a dog on a bag of chips. So we are vibing right now. Stay tuned for Saturday. We're gonna get Owen figured out and get the man a MacBook or something. But we appreciate you guys live on YouTube. Of course, it's the first one that's live on YouTube where your computer goes to.
You can't handle.
I mean, it's about to explode. He's Owen. He's not a robot. He's a real person. I'm AJ with a Cardinals bat, which probably describes how this podcast went because the Cardinals are absolutely free falling. We appreciate you guys more than you know. The subscribers and the follows and everything over the offseason has been unbelievable. We're blessed beyond measure. We appreciate you guys. Cyclone Nation is the best. And we got football coming in about a month. But Saturday, stay tuned because not only is Owen's audio going to be fixed. He's going to go nuclear about the special teams of Iowa State. And I, in the meantime, will keep this. I won't burn it like Owen did and posted it on X, but I will keep this from a depth chart perspective, and I will bring it on Saturday so that everyone can see just how wrong Phil Steele is and how wrong he's going to continue to be going into next season. We appreciate you guys. I'm AJ.
I'm Mo.